Good morning. This is day 116 on my hike from Mexico to Canada on the Pacific Crest Trail. That is where I slept last night, just like that. Cowboy camped. The person I mentioned that I had met on trail who passed me, she and her partner, who was actually the guy I was messaging the day before, were here too, and they cowboy camped over there, so I decided to camp as well. Cowboy camp as well, but didn't sleep too great. It was kind of tossing and turning. There were a bunch of spiders crawling around, and I saw that before I went to bed, but there was nothing I could do at that point. So I just kept my sleeping bag zipped up all the way, which means I can't really like spread my legs and stuff. So I'm just looking at or next to this lake here still, this reservoir outlet, but there is a fire in 15 miles. On 15 trail miles that is 1/2 a mile off of the PCT. So that's and I think that's a newer one maybe. Some of the ones I was initially worried about when I left yesterday have been fully contained, so this is a good example of kind of how fluid the situation is. I'm not too worried about it, but if like winds were to pick up and were to spread, I guess it could be an issue. So I've just been sitting here this morning eating my pie. These things are great, these breakfast things. I don't know, I have these a lot. Fruit pies by Franz. They're like on sale. You can get them for like less than $1 or $1.25. And just looking and kind of at the map. My left knee is very sore. That's one of the things that was bothering me yesterday that I didn't want to talk about, as were my Achilles. I did mention my plantar fascia on my right shin. Something I had read that the Ultra Lone Peaks, the shoes I had been wearing most of this trail, were good at because they're so minimal and zero drop, is that they really take a lot of the pressure off your knee joints. And I had that knee pain in the Sierras just because I was stepping too aggressive on those big steps. But that aside, I've been really fortunate at not having any knee pain. This is on the outside of my knee, so the knee pain I had in the Sierras was inside. I'm really hoping it goes away as I start walking, but yesterday for the last 5 or 6 miles, it was hurting every step. I didn't want to mention it because I was like, it's just probably breaking into the new shoes and the new pack. But I don't have a knee brace with me either, so I really hope this isn't an issue. But that aside, I'm sore for sure from all the reasons mentioned, like new pack, new shoes, resting 5.5 days, but really grateful for how the shin's feeling too this morning even. So I'm gonna get on trail and cautiously approach this 15-mile mark with this fire and see how it goes from there. And I will see you then. Okay, that fire is actually 18.5 miles away, trail miles away. So I will be getting there today, but not until after lunch. So we'll see how this goes. The reason I had the discrepancy in mileage is I'm off trail right now because where I camped, and I just blanked for a second when I was looking at the map and realized that when you're off trail, it calculates almost like the point A to B or something, not actually trail distance. So I just stopped for water at this creek again, and there was a big spider asleep at my pack. It obviously crawled in the night and didn't even know it went along for a ride, so I had to delicately get it off. It's pretty big, daddy long legs kind of style. But I've got a 10-mile water carry. I'm only taking 2 liters. I am so sore right now and beat up, just as I anticipated, from the new shoes, the new pack, 5 days of rest. Things are sore. All right, just getting started. First steps of the day, officially on the PCT. It took me a little while to climb back down from all that, where I camped way down there on the side of this little lake. It is 10 minutes before 8 a.m., so I did not set an alarm. I figured since I was cowboy camping, I'd wake up naturally, but with the sun, so I did get a little later start, but that's okay. Okay. Oh, there's a bunch of babies. Shin is probably a 1 or 2 out of 10, so very grateful with that. Left knee is warmed up a bit, but I still feel it. See how that develops. I am super tired, groggy. I did want to track my sleep. Initially I had my watch on, but sleeping on the ground with just that foam pad and nothing else. Like laying with my arm and the watch, it was just too hard against the ground. It was pushing into my body, so I took it off. So I don't know, but I do know I was awake more times than I can count. I am really kind of feel like I'm sleepwalking right now or something, just really a little out of it. I'm giving myself the name, not necessarily the trail name, but the last Nobo. There's a very decent chance I am the last true Nobo. I was thinking about this last night. So Burning Man is going on right now. I had a decent amount of FOMO, which I pretty much am historically immune to, fear of missing out, FOMO. But I was starting to get a little bit with Burning Man like a couple weeks ago and everything. And I was talking to my friends that I was there with, and they felt it too. We're planning to go back next year, thinking maybe every other year. But it's going on right now. I was thinking about this last night. So this time last year, or as of like late last night, early this morning, I was DJing on an art car at Burning Man. Really fortunate for that opportunity. Probably the coolest set I've ever played, or opportunity I've had. And yeah, I heard the weather's not great there right now. A lot of windstorms and some issues with that, but hope everyone out there is okay, and definitely thinking about that. I don't think I would have gone this year if I wasn't doing the PCT, but you never know. And this has just been such a long adventure. It's cut into a lot of different things that I'm interested in or wanted to do, like family, wedding, all that stuff. So anyways, I was thinking about that. Super cool when I got to do that a year ago. And depending how my body will hold up today, I need to be hitting 27 to 30 a day on average to make it, which is a tall order. That doesn't factor in any breaks or anything. And just how my body, I mean, look at shins finally getting better, and immediately there's something else. Like that, though, I'm not surprised because I have all these new factors, new shoes, new backpack, rested for 5 days, so I'm not surprised. But it's going to be a long shot for sure, but I'm confident somehow, some way, I'll be able to pull it off. But today I want to ease into it still a little bit. Yesterday I did about 23. Today, somewhere around there, maybe a little bit more. It's probably about right. 27 might be a little aggressive. So I'll see how the day goes. Definitely gotta see how this ends up being by this fire in about 17 and a half miles now from where I'm at. So let's see if there's a pen in here. Basically, to sign the register, there's Hyatt Lake is to the left here, the west, and dropped one. There's always a way to get it though without having to bend over at the pack. And it looks like it's 1.4 miles or so in the other direction, like off the trail. And I could have sent a box here or resupplied here. I carried less weight that I'm carrying right now, but I don't know, that's almost 3 miles round trip. Maybe that would have been smarter. I always go back and forth on this, but I kept, like, my next resupply is at Crater Lake, so, which was like 100 miles, like 3.5, 4 days of food for normal pace. So the PCT continues across there, but then here to the left is, so yeah, there, Hyatt Lakes, Hyatt, which I don't know if there's any affiliation with the hotel chain, but Hyatt Lake Resort, 1.4 miles, and there's that campground I mentioned yesterday, but I didn't want to go to, so. Onward we go. I just spent probably 5 to 10 minutes, hard to guess exactly, looking at the log, because there was a pen in there, so most people have signed in that do. some of my homies like Pitt that I was hiking with for a while back in like Lake Tahoe and stuff. He's 10 days ahead of me. Some of the people that I shared a ride into Etna with are about a week ahead of me. There's people though that I basically hiked into Ashland with that are only 2 days ahead of me, which doesn't make much sense because I took 5 or 6 days off, so they must have as well. Obviously I was looking for certain names. Some of my friends, I was looking for the twins, but I didn't see their names in there. Usually I do, so I don't know. It's interesting. But say yesterday there was only 2 Nobos that passed through. The day before there's probably about 10. So, and then today there's just the people I camped with ahead of me in the book. So yeah, I might be the last Nobo. I mean, highly unlikely. There's probably people behind me, but are those people that started at Campo? Are those people that haven't skipped a mile? Are those people that are still trying to get all the way to Canada still? That's what I mean. There's a decent chance I am like the last true Nobo here. It's a weird feeling, but I should have taken my pack off. I was standing there for so long. The weight on my feet and back. I gotta be smarter about that. I am confident the people that I kind of camped by and that had just signed that book went into Hyatt Lake, because I have crossed about 5 spider webs on this trail right now. Maybe one somehow could be an anomaly. I really don't know physically, unless someone like went to the side and peed or something. But one, sure, but I've done 5. I just hit one as I was walking, so that's 6. No one's walked here today. Like, yes, sure, maybe a spider could have built one in a half an hour in between people coming here and me, but 5 or 6 of these, no way. So I'm the first to come through here today, which tells me they went to Hyatt Lake, and tells me no southbound hikers have come here today, which means I'm probably 16 and a half miles or so now, 17 miles away from where this fire is, half a mile from the PCT. And as far as I know, I am the only one heading Nobo. Well, actually, there's another guy I met weeks ago, signed the book, Oatmeal Tea, who was there yesterday. So he probably went through. He's probably a ways ahead of me right now today. But yeah, there's a decent chance I'm like one of 2 in this stretch. I just stopped to put my hat on because I've been hitting so many spider webs. I mean, it's happened to me plenty of times before on trail, but never this frequently. Like, I've definitely been the first to walk at parts of the trail after a night. Many enough times. But this is wild. Like, since I last commented on it, I had 3 right in my face, and it's just annoying. So I'm like, I'll put the hat on to help, and then using my trekking poles to try to kind of cut through. But it's kind of a lot of energy. A lot of energy to do that. It's Hyatt Lake. Okay, good news. Just past 2 Sobos, asked about the fires. They said it's not an issue. There are firefighters on the trail, but the firefighters explicitly told them there's no concern for the trail. So that's good. Good to know. I'm fully confident now. I'm not worried about that anymore. See, I don't know if you can see this. There's literally a spider web right just walked into. Crazy. So many of them. A lot of long water carries, though, I just learned about. So, like they said, even after Crater Lake, there's, like, water caches, like, back in the desert vibes. Like, that's wild. I didn't know that was an issue in Oregon. And, like, right now, I'm doing a 10-mile water carry, but it sounds like... And I did plan for the optionality to try to push it to 14 miles because I read the source in 10 miles from where I started today. There's, like... It's, like, 3 creeks or 2 creeks. So the first one's basically all sewage. And then the other one that would be the better drinking water... People are commenting there's a bunch of cows near it, and I just talked to these 2 very nice people going Sobo, and they said there are literally 4 or 5 cows standing in the creek, and it's a very shallow creek, so like they avoided that. So now that basically means, obviously, just for sanitary reasons. So I am looking at a 14-mile water carry, which means I have to extend these 2 liters that I left with for 14 miles, which was kind of my plan to start. There is a campground I could go to 7 miles from where I started to get water, but it's 0.4 miles off trail, so that's almost a mile round trip. I'm trying to avoid that, so I'm gonna assess when I get to that campground trail head to see where my water level's at. But my intention would be to try to ration these 2 liters for the 14 miles, so I don't have to drink cow poop and I don't have to walk an extra 0.8 miles. I can't make this crap up. My shin is doing good, but my left knee, which was hurting yesterday for the last 5 or 6 miles, I alluded to it, I didn't explicitly mention it because I was hoping it'd be better, is hurting to the point where I need to take painkillers now. I can't. I must have some bad freaking genes. I will say, unlike when my shin pain started flaring up, because I knew what that entailed, I'm not super worried at the moment about my knee, even though every step's painful. It's unbelievable. Because I've had this pain before. It's on the outside of my knee, and it's just like, it's when it's been overburdened, overused. I've had it when I've been running a bunch before, so I feel like hopefully if I try to go easy on it and everything, it won't get worse and it'll kind of heal over the next couple of days. But man, it is literally, for me, one thing after another. I can't get a single day of just feeling good. And I'm currently like, this is really dealing with paying the price a little bit for swapping gear in the middle of a through hike when I have no wiggle room here. My shoes, I think, are going to work out really well overall, but like, I'm pretty sure that's what's driving the pain in my knee on top of the backpack, because the weight's hitting different. So it's going to take my body some time to adjust, and I don't really have a ton of time to ease into it. So that's the risk you run if you've been using a certain gear all trail. I should say shoes and pack, because others, like tent's not going to matter, but and then you make a change. You can see the lake in the background there. If I was with somebody that could assist in the filming of it, I would go climb back there and put my face in that hole. Okay, I'm still 11.5 miles away from where this fire is, but I just started smelling smoke. I definitely smell some smoke. Winds must be, they are coming towards me, so. Could be someone making like a campground. I highly doubt that, though. I suppose, I mean, I don't know if this is possible. This is clearly not recent, but there's a ton of like charcoal and ash here. I suppose it could be smelling that in this just general vicinity. It just lingers. I don't know. This does look a little bit different than what I've seen most of the burn zones, so maybe it's more recent, but definitely nothing like super recent. So but I do smell something. I'm thinking I was literally smelling the remnants of whatever burn zone that was from whenever that was, because you could see like ashes and stuff. I haven't seen that in most other burn zones, if ever, so maybe once. So I don't think I was smelling the active fire that's still 11 miles ahead or whatever. Well, I just asked another Sobo about the fires, and she said no issues at all. She thinks it's almost out, the one by Fish Lake. So no, this is all good news, kind of what my assessment of what I thought was going on, but you never really know, right? Like, things change, it's fluid, it's hard to get, different data points. I'm close enough now, and I've had enough people I've asked where I'm not worried about it at all. But you never know what else can pop up, right? I mean, there was some lightning last night. It was nothing like the few nights before, but I think I'm kind of okay and in the clear here. But I am worried about the one that's a ways northwest of Crater Lake, because the trail kind of runs there. But that's a problem for a couple days from now after Crater Lake. So I think I'm good. I honestly have no concern at this point, based on how many people I've asked now. And people have been there as recent as like this morning or last night. So that's great news that I am able to keep going here. Well, there actually is a campground way in there somewhere where there's like a RV, and saw some like American flag. They might be barbecuing. It's unlikely. It's so far away. I think the best guess is I was still smelling the ash from whenever what happened there. But anyways, I am 9.5 miles in. My feet are sore. My shin's doing pretty good. My left knee is not doing good, but I took ibuprofen and Tylenol, and the pain is masked for now. All in all, though, doing good, and I am, because of the shin, really, and I am, like I said, 9.5 miles in. It's a little before noon, so I'm just taking a little break here, like 20-minute break, and do my exercises for my shin and all that. Looks like I have a 1,700-foot climb, starting in half a mile for the next, like, 5.5 to 6 miles. I have already climbed over, I think, it's hard to check while I'm recording here, but I looked a while ago and it was 1,200, so I'd guess like 1,400 feet. But it should be a little more smoother sailing after that. So my plan, I skipped that campground for water. I'm about to, I think, yeah, I just skipped it. There is that creek with the cows coming up that I'm gonna skip in half a mile, and then the ascent starts out of the valley. So I'm gonna plan to take my lunch break at the next water source. So I have over a liter of water still, and I just have 4.5 miles to go. So I did pretty good rationing. So I really don't even think I'll have to ration much anymore, but it is all uphill, and it's starting to get to the peak of the day. It's still the thick of summer, so that's the plan. I can already smell this creek that supposedly there's like a couple branches, if you will, or whatever, streams, but it's allegedly one of them is just full of sewage, basically, and maybe that's dramatic, that's what I read, but I can smell it from here. It doesn't look terrible, but I get it, like it's clearly like a canal for runoff or whatever, so yeah, I'm gonna pass on that, but I've carried extra weight because of it. And allegedly there's a creek right down here too, but they're supposed to, according to the people I passed this morning, there's a bunch of cows in it. I was crossing this road and I looked right, and then I just saw this pine tree. Like, look how like perfectly spaced out each level of branches are. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Like, you can see right through. Like, here's more, presumably the same tree. Definitely not like that. Well, I am currently walking off trail, very short distance, 100 yards or so, to get to the water source. I made it to the 14-mile water carry on 2 liters. I didn't even finish the 2 liters. As crazy as it sounds, I probably could have made it on 1 liter. I was rationing, and once I got sort of past my allocated ration, then I would drink some just to do it, to stay hydrated. But I still have half a liter in there, and I drank some recently just to drink some. So that was crazy, but you know, I was covered most of the time. It's not crazy hot, and I drank some this morning, so I gotta figure out where this water's at. And there's 2 really nice new friends I just made that were hanging out and about to have lunch by where the PCT branches off to this side trail to get water. They're headed Sobo, but I'm gonna join them for lunch. I mean, this is where I was planning to have my lunch too, but just made sure they're cool, some company. So yeah, it's a little after I think it's like 2 o'clock or so, 14 miles in. That really doesn't cut it, but I'm being extra careful, and I'm pleased given all things considered how I'm doing. There's the water, and I didn't start till a little before 8, right? So I'm gonna start setting alarms. So I didn't today because I was cowboy camping. I thought I'd wake up earlier, and then also I just don't want to push it too much to start. My body's already pretty beat. Guys, this is Space Cowboy. I just enjoyed lunch with him and somebody taking with named Sunshine, but I asked him what backpack he has, and then he's like, I handmade it. And I was like, what? He made this custom by himself, like sewed it together and everything. Yes. Pretty amazing. Hailing from Japan and going Sobo.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, man. Okay, I just left my lunch spot, which was over there by the water source. I've got 8 miles to the next water, which is a hand crank pump next to some cabin that you can stay in, but apparently is rat infested. So also I will be going through that first the Fish Lake fire area, but the 2 people I just had lunch with said if it wasn't for the fact that it's been flagged and far out, they wouldn't have even known they walked through. In fact, the girl I had lunch with, Sunshine, knew about the fires, but the guy, Space Cowboy, didn't even know that there were fires that they walked through. So I mostly just asked them because it's a conversation point. Like, I had a good enough data points at this time to feel good about it, but since we were hanging out for a while, I was like, why not? I'll just ask. So I'm not worried about that at all anymore. But that it should be, in theory, coming up. And in the next 4 miles from now, I got 8 to go to get to water. And then I will reassess. Got to get it. I want to do at least 10 more. Again, I'm at 14 right now. I'd like to do 12 more. But I really got to see how my body's doing. I've got about 2 miles left on this climb up. And then should be more downhill from there. I think I'm loosely adopting the identity of the last Nobo. It'd be like Snowbo for short, or just Snow or whatever, but the last Nobo. I was teasing the people I had lunch with. I was like, now you may see a few other Nobos, but it's a mirage. I am the last Nobo. But for people who haven't skipped at all and are still planning to try to get the whole thing done, I very well may be the last Nobo. But people I've been talking to today, I have talked to almost everyone because I wanted to get the data points of the fires. Said like they were seeing maybe 10 to 12 Nobos the last few days, but then like not many yesterday, today. I think that corroborates what I saw in the logbooks. So I really do think I'm at the tail end of the stragglers here, and I just like the idea of being. I mean, I don't like it, but it's what I find myself in. I think in a way, it summarizes a lot of what I've gone through on this journey and what I embody. The last Nobo. I decided to only carry 1.5 liters for these 8 miles. I think it's the right play because more miles than not will be net downhill, and somehow I made it those 14 miles on 1.5 liters. It is kind of peaky today, but it's not that hot out. So, although the people I had lunch with thought it was, but I guess relative to things I've experienced so far, it's really not. So hopefully that's the right call. I can't stop thinking about that tail I saw coming out of Side Valley, and then I captured whatever it was briefly. Very hard to see, but in the video I like slowed it down, zoomed in on it, as you may recall. So now I'm like looking around, kitties in the jungle, like wanting to see one, but they're so rare and hard to see. And I have been meaning to, and when I get home I'll look up to see all mammals really, in Northern California. I can't imagine there's many others with long tail like that. So I don't know what that was exactly, but I have my suspicions. There's something really loud breaking branches, and when I stopped, it stopped and then started up briefly again. By my rudimentary experience out here, that sounds either a bear, a lion, or a human. All the deer I've seen do not make sounds that loud. just too thick. I'd really like to wait and see what this was, but it stopped and it's so hot right now. It is definitely peak heat and I'm in the sun. It's so dense and thick in there. I'm not gonna like wander in. So that will remain a mystery. There's Mount Shasta once again. I'm not sure the camera will capture it, but that is a very long, deep, vast valley, if you'd call it that. The Rogue River National Forest. I just crossed over that peak of that climb. It was fairly gradual, but I mean, I've gone well over 2,500 feet in elevation gain today so far. Actually, sorry, it'd be over 3,000. Let me check. 3,164, so 3,100 feet in elevation gain. The good thing is in the next 10 miles, there's only like 500 feet of elevation gain and about 1,600 or 2,000 to 2,000, something like that, of descent. So, although that's not, downhill's hurting my left knee more than anything, it's good. Be a little cruisier. Just want to clarify one thing. I don't regret coming out here for a minute. It's been really great. It's largely getting out of it what I wanted, which was a big challenge. Obviously, the injuries have made it way more frustrating and challenging in a different regard than I was expecting or wanting. But when I say like I'm ready for this to be done, that doesn't mean I regret at all coming out here. I don't at all. It's just taking its toll. But I am 100% stand by my decision to be out here. I find one of the hardest times during the day for me to be walking is like the hour or two after lunch. It's like by the time you filter water, get water, because usually that time my lunch is to be near a water source. So like filter the water, get it all set up to gravity filter, get my pack undone, like take my shoes off, make lunch, eat it, do my exercises or stretch, put it all back. Like there's not really much time to relax. And like after you eat a bunch, it's like all you want to do is chill for a bit. And I end up kind of loading my calories. They're more heavily skewed towards the afternoon and dinner. Like I do eat in the morning, but mostly just like snacks and stuff. And then I have a heavier lunch and then dinner. I was doing that more so the dinner. I mean, I just think it's important to fuel the night before. And also if it's cold, helps for sleeping. But yeah, it's just, I feel like a food coma right now walking. And then I'm just also tired, just didn't sleep good. So the combination of that's definitely hitting. Plus when I'm in the sun, that's the trifecta right there. So I'm coming into essentially where that Burton fire was, which was near this fish lake. Supposedly like a half mile to the left here, but I see or smell no signs of it. So yeah, I'm essentially going by it now. Guess I should show the direction it is, but yeah. Sorry, this is the Burton fire, not the one near Fish Lake. Fish Lake's still a little ways ahead. But I believe when I looked this morning, this was the one that had said it had been contained. So it was a little ways off the trail here, but I really see no or smell no evidence of it, which is good, I guess, on all fronts. Yes, I am sub 900 miles to go. Let's go. I made it to water, had some to spare, so what I took was a good call. Just reached this shelter, and there's the water pump. So I think I got to carry for another 10 miles. I'll take a little break here. It's almost 6 o'clock, so I'll take a break here and then probably push 4 more miles, call it a day, rinse and repeat, hopefully stay uninjured. Wow, that is the first arms workout I've gotten in like 116 days. So the next water is 10 miles from here, and I have to dry camp, so I'm gonna need to take a good amount of water here. That's gonna be heavy to carry, probably like 3 liters worth. Unless I want to like try to eat here now, but I'm not hungry. I just had a big meal. So yeah, that's gonna be fun. So apparently the Brown Mountain fire is burning just a half-mile east of where I'm at, but I hear some helicopters going over and stuff. It's probably out by now. I remember I don't have service, so I can't check watch duty, but this morning when I was looking at what the hazards might be, I think that one might have been done, but the fire out's probably just not updated. But so it either was, as of recent, burning a half-mile east of here, or still is. But I mean, I don't see any smoke. I don't smell anything. I do hear some helicopters going by, but there's definitely no closures. And the one thing I learned about that Etna closure, the closure near Mount Etna, every local I talked to said there was absolutely no reason for that to be closed. So it was extreme liability risk management to close that. Like it wasn't really, the PCT really was never, from my understanding, in jeopardy, but just in case they closed it. So that level of risk appetite, the fact that they have made no closures here, is really all I needed to know. But then of course I dug in and did all my own research. But yeah, not worried about it at all. Okay, I just left the cabin and I have 4 miles once I get back on trail. So this side quest, I have 4 miles to get to where I'm going to camp tonight. I thought about going 10 more to get to where there's the next water source, so I don't have to carry all this water weight. But that's just too much for just getting back with 5 days off and an injury. Because I've already done 22 miles, so that would be putting me at 32. And honestly, I'm feeling pretty good, and I'm very grateful for that. But I need to be smart. I'm going to have to ramp it up and kick it into high gear soon and just pray that my body holds up. But I think it's a little too soon for that. So I'm going to do 4 more and be disciplined, and that'll put me at 26 on the day. Hopefully get a good stretch in and kind of recover, and then get back out there tomorrow. And that will leave me with about 54 miles to go to get to Crater Lake. I think that's a good plan. Plus hiking 10 more would put me hiking in the dark. I am not a huge fan, honestly, of night hiking. Like, I shouldn't say night hiking. It's more when you deliberately hike kind of through most of the night. But like hiking into the late, past dusk into the evening, past sunset. So yeah, that's the plan. Whoa, it's quite a sight of rocks. I love this sign. It's just cool. It looks cool, but 2/3. I am 2/3 of the way done hiking the Pacific Crest Trail, and I have just over a month to do the last third, and it's been 4 months since I started. I might have a little wiggle room to get into early October, but this is quite the task ahead of me. But I feel confident I will pull through one way or another. 2/3. Let's go. I re-linked with Oatmeal Tea, the man with the guitar we met weeks ago. He's awesome, so pumped for that. This is where I'm going to set up camp for the night. Great to see a friend. This has been day 116. I just did over 26 miles. I could do more, but I'm feeling really good. My shin is, surprisingly, it feels better than it did when I started 2 days ago. I can't believe it. So I'm so grateful for that, but my left knee is bugging me, so I'm going to try to take it easy tonight. I will catch you all tomorrow.